Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And we ditched the box because what's most important is, well, it's what's in my hands today. Shout out to Knives Fast, who runs Tempest Knives. He put this in a pass around, and so now we get a chance to check this out early. You see, this was a pre-order that was available, and the pre-orders sold out, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am not surprised in the slightest because this is really good. I've already reviewed several other Tempest knives in the past. This one is easily the most premium version. And that says a lot considering that the last one I checked out was the Jetstream, and the Jetstream was really good. I haven't talked to a single person who has a Jetstream that doesn't absolutely love their knife. And he followed it up with another banger. This is the Tempest Knives Fractus, and the pre-order sold out. These were already ordered before he did the pre-order, which means that for those of you lucky ducks out there who actually got in on it, yours will probably be coming late May or early June if shipping goes well. So what are these lucky people getting? Let's talk about it. First of all, we've got an overall length of 8 inches, which means that it is officially a full-size knife. It's a 4.5-inch handle and a 3.5-inch blade. That blade is made out of CPM S90V, which is one of my favorite overall steels, especially one of my favorite super steels. I would actually go as far as to say that S90V is a hyper steel. It's made by Concept. Concept is the OEM, and Concept makes some very high quality blades. The handle scales are milled titanium, and if you look closely, you might actually be able to see that there is in fact a nice diagonal milling pattern right there. And of course, we do have this fat carbon inlay. This is the Arctic Storm fat carbon inlay, and it looks great. I'm not the biggest Arctic Storm fat carbon guy. I typically tend to go for purple haze. I also think that this would look fantastic with a camo carbon inlay, but we're not going to muddle the lines too much talking about that. I do think that this blade is really, really good looking, and it's got some nice features. The first feature that I want to talk about that I really enjoy is this backspacer. This is a titanium backspacer, and it's half length, meaning that it's going to cover half the length of the scales. That's great. It protects the edge of the blade from crap in your pockets. It also helps with ergonomics. What's really impressive to me is that we have both a titanium 3D milled pocket clip and backspacer, and yet this doesn't necessarily weigh too much. For an 8-inch knife with titanium everything, it only comes in at 4.2 ounces, which is very carry friendly given its size and given its heft. It's nice. Now we have one deployment option and one deployment option only, and that is this deployment hole. And you know my stance on single deployment option knives, and that is that it's got to be the showstopper. It's got to bring the heat. It's got to be good, and it absolutely is. The detent on here is, well, it's tuned specifically for this. Now, I will say this. I wish that the detent was a little bit stiffer, and that's not to say that this is a weak detent. I cannot shake this knife open. So there's no safety risk. But because of the size of this deployment hole that extends into this fuller right here, you can fail it if you're not really, trying too hard. Is it easy to fail? No. But I do think that had this detent been a little bit stiffer, we could have probably seen some extremely good action without a whole lot of force behind it. The next thing that I really want to point out is this pocket clip. This is an ingenious pocket clip design, and we saw this type of design for the pocket clip on a lot of quiet carry knives. You see how there is no screws in this beautiful inlay work? Absolutely gorgeous. Why disrupt the beauty of that fat carbon inlay with something as hideous as screws, and then hear about influencers and content reviewers saying, I just wish that they were flatheads. Oh, come on, guys. We knew that that would be coming, right? But not in this case, because the screw attaches at the top here, which makes this pocket clip fully switch over. Now, because of the slant on this pocket clip, it's not going to match up exactly on this other side, but word on the street is that if you let Knives Fast know, if you pre-ordered one of these and you let him know when they come in, he can put a lefty clip on here for you. Even if you weren't to do that, you could still actually use the clip on the other side. It's just that this slant, instead of facing towards the right of the scales, would be facing towards the left. I don't necessarily see that as a huge deal personally, because you can absolutely swap this clip over. That's just something that I was thinking of. Is it would have been kind of nice if we had rounded out this clip. It may not have looked as snazzy, but if you round out the clip, undo the screw, flip it to the other side, and poof, there's no need for an extra clip for anybody. You just have one clip and it works for everybody. That's kind of a good segue into my demands. I'm going to talk about my demands because I missed out on the pre-order. The money just, it wasn't there. It didn't line up. And sometimes that's how it happens. If you're into knife collecting, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes the money just doesn't line up the way that you would like. So I have some demands for a version 2 because this is fantastic. This costs $200 on the pre-order, which is bananas to me. The fact that you get S90V titanium with a fat carbon inlay, 3D milled titanium, everything. That's awesome. I think, and hear me out, I think that a version 2 would be perfect for this. And here's what I would suggest for a version 2. First of all, I think a version 2 that has either camo carbon for the inlay or a frag pattern titanium inlay would be really, really cool. Also, I do in fact think that making this pocket clip truly ambidextrous by making it symmetrical on both sides, so I get rid of that slant, and then you could flop it on either side. No need for an extra clip for anybody. The next thing that I think would be rather good is the way that the grind happens. So you see how we have this beautiful satin finish, but it's all one directional. Something that looks really classy in my opinion is when you have a vertical finish right here on the blade, and then the flat up top is a horizontal finish. If you do that, that two-tone looks really, really good on a lot of knives, and I think that would really make the blade shape pop on this one. Not to say that I don't think that it looks good as is currently, and I think for $200, that's one of those things that doesn't really matter at that price point because you're getting everything else. The action on here is great, guys. It's really good. And if you're wondering why I'm making suggestions for version 2, it might just be because I hope that there is one. I really want an opportunity to get in on these, and while there might be an opportunity to get one after the pre-order ship, there is no guarantee. I'm not entirely sure if there will be, but if you want to know for certain, the only true way to do that would be to follow Knives Fast and to follow Tempest Knives on Instagram. That's where you're going to get all the good stuff, and for those of you who are like me who missed out on this one, you definitely want to do that. So I'm really digging this. I think that it's rather cool. I hope that if you like this, that you are able to get in on the pre-order. If not, definitely follow Tempest Knives and Knives Fast because there may or may not be more available after they ship. If there is, chances are that they will be a bit more expensive than the pre-orders, but that's just kind of how the game is played. I'm really enjoying this one. I think that for $200, it's a fantastic deal. The action is good. The ergos are dreamy, and it's really nice in the hand. Check this out. We have jimping not one place, but 2 places. That's perfect. You have a normal saber type choked up grip, which is great for control, or you can do an advanced choked up grip, which gives you even more control. So as a carry knife, as a user knife, this is going to blow people out of the water. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best model that Tempest has come out with to date. So, are you with me on a version 2? What would you like to see on a version 2, if there were to be one? And were you able to get in on the pre-order? Let's have a discussion in the comment section down below. And if you want to watch more awesome knife and EDC content, make sure to click on one of the videos that pops up next.